Yeah. In the last session, we have seen the enumeration. Okay, we have seen the methods of enumeration as well, has more element, next element, and we have seen an example on enumeration as well. So in this session, we will be seeing the iterator. So it is similar to the enumeration, but the enumeration is legacy actually. Okay, so the iterator is the new one, the new concept actually. So using the iterator also we can retrieve the data from the collection one by one. Okay, one by one we can retrieve the data. Okay. Fine. Okay, so here, so we can, yeah, we can use this iterator for every collection. For every collection, we can use this iterator. Every collection object, we can use iterator. We can use iterator. Okay. This iterator is an interface actually. Iterator is an interface. This iterator interface is having a methods called hasNext. Okay, this will return boolean, and it is having a method called next. This will return an object. Okay, so hasNext method, it is similar to the the method we have in a enumeration, has more elements. Okay, the next method will be similar to the next element. Okay, fine, cool. So let's see an
Yeah.
example. And we have one more method. What is the one more method? Yeah, remove method. So this iterator is also having a method called remove, which will be removing an element from the collection. Okay. So let's see the example on this one. Let's say let me take 1D collection where it is. Let's say I'll be using a tree set. Okay. So I have taken the ready-made examples actually, which we have written in the last sessions actually. So what I'll do is I'll be retrieving these details one by one. Okay, 100, 5 to 90. We'll be retrieving these details one by one. So numbers dot iterator is a method which will be returning the interface called iterator, and we'll use it. Let's say ITR is a one. Okay, now I'll be using a while loop. I'll say while itr dot has next. There is an element inside this numbers collection. So the while method will be returning true. If you want to read an any element, we'll say itr dot next method. This will return an object. Okay, fine. So now I'll be typecasting this object to our wrapper class. What is our wrapper class? Integer. So let me write, instead of integer, I'll write integer. So I'll say I'll be converting int value equals to int. I'll say object. Okay, it is converted. So SOT, I'll display the values one by one value. Okay, so let's run this one, run as Java application. So it should display the values one by one. See, 2, 5, 90, 100. Okay, it is displaying the values one by one, right? So it is similar. The similar explanation you can check. So as of now, we have seen all these things, right? So where it is tree set. Yeah. As of now, we have retrieved elements using the iterator, and we are typecasting. Like we have seen an examples on primitives only. Let me retrieve the elements which are storing the custom objects as well. So I have the example handy actually. So let me go to the array list example client application. So this is not the one. where it is, employee client applications. Yeah. So we have an employee client application which will be taking the which will be having array list. Array list will be taking the multiple employee details. Okay, let's try to retrieve these employee details one by one. Okay, so I'll be using the iterator over here. Okay, so let's write the code. So sorry, let's write, before writing the code we have to call the iterator, right? So array list dot iterator, iterator method, array list dot iterator. So iterator method is used to retrieve the elements from the collection one by one. So this iterator method will be returning the iterator as a parameter. Okay, it will be written in the iterator object. I'll say itr. So now I'll write the condition over here. I'll check while itr, sorry, itr dot hasNext. We'll check whether the elements are there in the collection or not. So if it is there, it will return true, otherwise it will not. So now once it is returning true, I'll try to read the value where it is pointing it at. Okay, itr dot next. I'll say okay. So this next method, what it will return? It will return the element which is nothing but an object as a parameter, object as a return type, obj. Okay, now what I have to do is, what is there, it is store, what is the type of value which is storing in the iterator? So it is an object value. What is the type of value which we are storing in array list? It is an employee object, right? So we have to typecast it employee, and we'll be using obj. So here we have already taken the employee. That's why, see here we have already taken the employee. Let me give the employee details as a object name. SOT employee details. So it will display employee details one by one. It will retrieve the employee details one by one. See, first it retrieved the first employee, and next it is retrieving the second employee. Okay, fine. And this is the sysout which is printing this line. Okay, so we will remove this one. So let's run it again. Okay, fine, cool. Okay, so that's all about the cursors, and we have one more cursor, ListIterator. So let's use the ListIterator. Okay, ListIterator is like, it is a child interface of the iterator. Okay, let me tell you about that iterator as well. ListIterator, it is the child interface of the iterator. Okay, so whatever the methods which are there in the iterator, it will be having it will be there in the ListIterator as well. Okay, so in the ListIterator, we have the additional methods called, see, the ListIterator, what it will do is the iterator will be retrieving the data only in forward direction. Okay, when it comes to the ListIterator, it will retrieve the data in a backward direction as well. Okay, so it is having, ListIterator is having the methods called hasPrevious method. Okay, and this will return a boolean value, and this ListIterator is also having the method called previous to read the previous value, and this will return the object. Okay, so addition to this, so it is also having these many methods as well, because ListIterator is extending from the created from the iterator itself. Okay, so it is extending the features of iterator, so automatically these three methods will be there in this ListIterator as well. Let me copy this, let me paste it over here. Okay, fine. Okay, so, and the ListIterator is also having the some more methods actually. If you want to add an element, so you can use add method. Okay, and we can add an element. Okay, so right how to add an element. So you'll be using the element e. Okay, this will not return anything. This will not return any boolean value, something like that. It will return void actually. Okay, so these are the some of the methods we have in a list iterator. Let me see the working of list iterator. Working of list iterator. Working of list iterator. Okay, so let's take an example. Okay, so now as of now, what we have done, we have retrieved the data only in forward direction. Okay, whatever the order we have added, in the ascending order only we have retrieved the data. First we have retrieved one, then we have retrieved two. Now I want to retrieve from backward direction. Okay, first two I want to retrieve, then one I want to retrieve. Okay, let's see how we do that. Okay, so I'll comment this part, this entire thing. I'll say array list dot list iterator. So list iterator is the method which will return the list iterator as a parameter. List iterator as a return type. So I'll say LITR. So list iterator. So while I'll be checking whether we have to do it from backwards, right? I'll check whether the list iterator is pointing to the collection, whether the collection is having the elements or not. Okay, now we are pointing from backwards. From backwards we are reading. From this way we are reading. From here to here. From employee 2, first we will be reading employee 2, then we will be reading employee 1. Okay, so let's see. List iterator has previous elements, so it will check if the if the elements are there, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So if it is returning true, so we have to read the value, right? So we will say previous. The previous element will read the value and it will be storing into the object. Fine. So now we have to convert this object to the respected wrapper class. So I'll be taking this. Okay. So now I'll say obj. That's fine. So now SOT of employee details. Good. So let's execute this one. So let me comment this part. Okay. So now this should give the response. Before we are retrieving the data in forward direction, we can see the employee details will be displaying in ascending order from employee ID is 1 and here the employee ID is 2. Now we will be getting the printing the data in reverse order. First we will be reading the employee 2, then we will be reading the employee 1. Okay. So let's run this one. Let's see the output. On. Hey. That is output run. Previous, LITR, that's fine. Previous. You are not